So we've got incredible news for Donkey Kong Bonanza and the Nintendo Switch 2 as things are looking good for the future of the franchise, so we don't have another 26-year gap or something like that between the next big 3D Donkey Kong game. So let's go ahead and jump right into this because I found this to be fascinating and of course very good overall because I want to see success when it comes to Donkey Kong, a franchise that I've been playing since the 80s overall. So on Amazon right now, and at this point, I've been tracking how this game is doing. This is ahead of the Famitsu selling list that's going to come this upcoming week overall. So it looks like it's going to do pretty good there. But here in the US on Amazon, things look to be really good as well, as it's number 4 on the overall Amazon bestsellers. Now, the overall Amazon bestsellers are pretty significant because a lot of people buy volume of the PSN gift cards and store credit, Roblox, all of that. So many people buy through there, and Donkey Kong Bonanza has been able not only to keep pace in the top sales for quite some time for pre-orders, but even after launch, even jumping all the way up to number 4. Another huge thing when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 is now that we have Amazon actually selling systems and games again, this is going to be big for people who necessarily don't want to go out and they can't find one. Well, you can buy it at Amazon, one of the biggest retailers in the world for online and where people shop. Nintendo Switch 2, the Mario Kart World Bundle is in at number 7 as well. So very good back-to-back news for Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart World. On top of that, we've got the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, in my opinion, the best controller ever made. That is in at number 12 on the bestsellers. So you're seeing a theme here. You're seeing people pick up the Nintendo Switch 2. Of course, you get that Mario Kart World game in there. That's awesome. But then also buy it for Bonanza and have a Pro Controller and just have a blast with 2 big system selling games, which is why I talked about how system sellers, exclusives, are super important, especially in today's day as tech gets more and more expensive. You've got to entice people with that great software that's exclusive to the platform in order to sell it. So definitely very good there, but it doesn't stop overall when it comes down to it, guys, because in the new releases, it kind of hones down the actual video game stuff outside of the cards. So you're going to see more controllers, you're going to see more games, you're going to see more stuff like that. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is not disappointing 2 times in terms of things overall, because we've got the digital code that's in at number 7 for Donkey Kong Bonanza, and we've got the physical copy that's in at number 1. So people are buying that real physical copy, which is great. But the Nintendo Switch 2 bundle with Mario Kart World, that's in at number 2. The Pro Controller is in at number 3, and the Amiibo with Donkey Kong and Pauline for Donkey Kong Bonanza series is in at number 4, with the Nintendo Switch 2 standard one in at number 8, and the Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Cons in at number 11. So it is huge overall. Donkey Kong Bonanza is proving to be a big system driver and mover. Along with Mario Kart World, people are picking up both of those and having a blast. Now, there's another thing that I wanted to talk about here, because I'm starting to see that the Nintendo Switch 2 is getting that positive word of mouth advertising to more of the expanded base. I was at Best Buy to pick up my copy of Donkey Kong Bonanza in addition to the Amiibo, and I saw a number of families. I saw a dad with his daughter, and I saw another dad that was asking questions about stuff for his kids and picking up the Nintendo Switch 2, picking up Donkey Kong, picking up the Amiibos and all of that. I saw a number of people that definitely weren't the core gamers that kind of know stuff already overall or watch all the videos and all that. They were all picking up the Nintendo Switch 2. The dad and his daughter, actually, they both had a Nintendo Switch 2. They both bought one individually, or more like he bought himself one and her one. So it's expanding to people outside of the hardcore fandom, outside of the super enthusiasts. There are people that are looking at the games, that are seeing the advertising, that want to pick up the system, then of course have the Nintendo Switch 1 and saying, oh, the second one's out. I'm hearing about it now. Let me go get it when it becomes available. But they sold out so quickly. There was a number of people that were there right at the opening, and I got in probably like around like 10:30 or 10:45, and they were getting people in and out of there checked out with their Nintendo Switch 2 system. So while I don't think the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to reach up to the levels of the Switch 1 sales-wise, just because it's very difficult. There's only 3 systems ever that have sold 150 million units. I wouldn't necessarily count it out at this point, based off of what I'm seeing, considering the competition, considering what the Nintendo Switch offers, and if they can hold at the $450 to $500 price range, and I would say if they can continue this Mario Kart World bundle as well, I think that they have somewhat of a chance if they continue bringing the heat. Zelda, Smash, Animal Crossing, Pokemon, if all of those hit and hit big, I think that there is somewhat of a chance that they can get around that level, because this is something when it comes to the start of a system that we've never seen before in the history of gaming. It is the fastest selling one, and games like Donkey Kong Bonanza are driving in new people to pick up the system because it's a very unique and different style of platformer that you can't play anywhere else. There are great platformers out there, but Donkey Kong Bonanza actually infuses great action elements in addition to a platformer and just a whimsical charm that is so uniquely Nintendo and different. It's going to be really hard for the people that were holding back on picking one up to not say, okay, I need to play this. I need to see what all of this is about. So that's what I'm seeing right now with the Nintendo Switch 2, and I think that it's going to continue on here because we still have Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World, Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, Kirby Air Riders, Pokemon Legends ZA. There's still a number of big exclusives that are coming out that are definitely going to appeal to more than just the super core gamer. Pokemon Legends ZA, that's going to appeal to a large group of people who love Pokemon. And Metroid Prime 4, while that is for the super hardcore audience, I think this could easily be the best selling Metroid game of all time, and it's set up at a very good time for Metroid to do well with a powerful new hybrid system and being able to play it at 120 FPS as well. So it suits that type of game when it comes to Metroid Prime. So this is exciting news overall for Donkey Kong. Very good, massive news for the Nintendo Switch 2 getting on Amazon and being able to sell the way that it's doing. And things seem to be looking incredibly positive going forward as we get into this next Nintendo Direct that's going to be happening and the release dates for some of these other big games that I talked about. So what do you guys think about Donkey Kong Bonanza and the Nintendo Switch 2 dominating at this point? Let me know in the comments section. But before we get into the next topic, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and click that notification bell to get my vids as soon as they drop. And if you're playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, what is your favorite non-spoiler aspect of the game so far? Now let's go ahead and jump right into this next topic here, and we're going to be discussing what is happening with Mario Kart World, because it actually had a pretty interesting milestone to show you the absolute dynamic when people were trying to say that the Nintendo Switch 2 could be the next Wii U, or it's not going to do as well, or whatever the case is. That was never on the table, despite some of the controversies, which I do feel with Mario Kart World. It is valid when it comes to the $80 thing. It's valid when it comes to, hey, they didn't organize some of this stuff as good. Like, the legit criticism is there, but just to show you how much more popular the Nintendo Switch 2 is than the Wii U that some people tried to compare the system to, check this out, guys. The recent Famitsu sales data showed that Mario Kart World on the Nintendo Switch 2 has already surpassed the full number of retail sales for Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. Think about that for a second, because Mario Kart World is only about a month old, and the fact that it's already surpassed the entirety of the sales of Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U shows that this is a system that's a completely different beast overall. It was never going to be anything like the Wii U overall, and anybody who said that is foolish and has no idea what was happening in Japan. Mario Kart World has now sold over 1,365,072 physical copies in Japan, while Mario Kart 8's lifetime sales numbers are at 1,310,444 units. So just the fact that the entirety, which back then Mario Kart 8 actually sold decently on the Wii U, it wasn't like it did terrible. People thought it did okay, but the Nintendo Switch 2 is just a whole different thing because it's already surpassed it. Now, you do have the Mario Kart World bundle, which does help out, but there was also bundles for Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. So the fact that Mario Kart World has already smoked it at this point, I expect this to be easily one of the best selling games of all time in Japan when it's all said and done. So what do you guys think about Mario Kart World box sales already surpassing Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U? And that doesn't include the digital sales of the game, which is only going to be higher when it comes down to it. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and move on to the next topic. Let's discuss Inazuma 11 Victory Road, because you guessed it, it's been delayed again. This game has been delayed more than any other game that I can think of in recent memory. Maybe it's going on a Duke Nukem Forever type of delay. Level 5 has now delayed Inazuma 11 Victory Road from its previously planned August 21st release date to November 13th. It will be available for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch 1, and PC via Steam. Now, here was their explanation for the delay again at this point. Due to the content volume exceeding our initial expectations, additional time is required for voice recording, multi-language localization, and other related processes, Level 5 said in a message. As we work toward the final stages of development, we have decided to adjust the release date to ensure the best possible quantity. The release date for Inazuma 11 Victory Road has been changed from August 21st, 2025 to November 13th, 2025. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused to all the fans who have been eagerly waiting for a long time, and truly appreciate your understanding and continued support. So they've got a new video here as well. But here's the thing that I would say with Level 5 and their games, and I know that they delay them a lot. I think that when it comes to Level 5, they are not the biggest publisher, the developer, all that out there. And I know that they're pretty finicky when it comes to certain things. They want to make sure that when they release a game, it feels complete, it feels good, it feels just already all packed and ready to go. Now, yes, they'll do updates like Fantasy Life and stuff like that, but when they release a game, they don't want to leave any doubt. They don't want to sit there and say, oh man, that should have been so much better, that should have been so much better. They're old school in that sense. Just sometimes they have to announce things so early because they have to let their fans know, because sometimes their fans might think that there's nothing happening because their games take so long to make. So I think that they try to say, okay, we'll get it done by now, and use that as a motivation, but it never lives up to their own personal standard of how they feel a game should be. We heard about some of the development when it comes to Fantasy Life, A Girl Who Steals Time, to where they completely refigured that game because they felt that it wasn't up to the quality of what they wanted, and that's why that game was delayed so many times. So I'll say this with Inazuma 11. I'm pretty sure the delays are only going to make a better product. And this is not like it's a super massive, Nintendo Switch first party title to where it's like Pokemon or Zelda, or it's like that. They can take their time with this one. The majority of people are probably going to buy this on the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Nintendo Switch 2. So make sure that it's good on those platforms. Make sure everything is set and ready to go, and make sure that you have a really good game so you can sell enough copies, because with Fantasy Life, they made sure that the game was awesome, and look at what happened. They have really good sales overall, over 1.2, 1.3 million at this point. We're getting a real Nintendo Switch 2 physical version of the game, and that's because they delayed it and made sure that it was great. Now, while I don't like the stringing along overall, and they should have a release date when they feel more comfortable about it, Level 5 is known for doing this. Heck, they're doing it with Deca Police, where they announced it in 2023. It's not ready anytime soon. It's all the way out in 2026 at this point, but I'm pretty sure by the time that that game comes out, obviously there's going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 version. It is going to be so much better than what it would have been if it would have released back in like 2023 or 2024 when they wanted it to, because there was a full demo. There was a full demo that was at Tokyo Game Show that people played and felt that it was really good. I think even some gave it Game of the Show at Tokyo Game Show. We need to make sure that this game is better in X, Y, and Z category and not just push out something. I can commend them for that. Now, sometimes, like I said, it gets a little crazy because like what's happening here with all the delays, but at the same time, I think it does ensure a quality product, and that's what you can get from Level 5 games. They're always going to be pretty good quality-wise overall, with not a lot of bugs and not a lot of issues when the game does drop. And considering how incredible Fantasy Life I turned out after the long delays and everything, I think that that's going to be huge when it comes to Deca Police and what they do in that game, which they've already kind of reconfigured that game 1 or 2 times already. They stated that they needed extra time to fill out the world and make it more rich. And I think overall, with the delays like we're seeing with Inazuma 11, with Deca Police, this is great because now it gives them a ton of time to make sure that the Nintendo Switch 2 version is up to snuff, get an actual physical cartridge right away. They don't have to do the same things that happen with Fantasy Life. And Deca Police, to me, can be one of the better games out there since Level 5's Ni no Kuni, for example. Like, there's so many cool things and ideas that are in this game, but I think that they're actually going to take this extra time with the delay to make sure that it's really good, because we saw what happened with Fantasy Life. So, to me, the delays can be frustrating, especially with games that I'm excited about, like Deca Police, but I think ultimately it's going to make the game way better. And the same thing could happen here with Inazuma 11 and of course other games that level 5 end up doing. So what do you guys think about Inazuma 11 Victory Road getting another delay in addition to the upcoming games for level 5? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.